Hello students, you're welcome back to this channel. Get understanding, don't memorize. In the previous video, we looked at the definition of sets, or the definition of a set. In fact, that one was the previous video. We look at the introduction to what we look at introduction to sets. So in this video, we are going to look at what the properties of what sets, or the rules of sets, or the laws of what sets. So the properties of sets are the same as the rules of sets, and they are also the same as laws of sets. So all these three words are the same. Either you say properties of sets or rules of sets or laws of sets. They mean the same thing. In the previous video, as we said, look at definition of sets, and we said that sets are irrational numbers. For example, the square root of 2 is what? It's a set, and square root of 3 is also what? A set. And we said that sets involve square root of Of prime numbers. Sets involve what? Square root of prime numbers. So let us look at something. No, this one is what? This is square root of 2, as we have said, is what? A set. How about square root of 20? Square root of 20 is also what? It's also a set. But what do we see here? We see that 20, we can break 20 down to what? To 4 times what? 4 times 5. We can break it down as what? As 4 times what? 4 times 5. So square root of 20 is the same as what? Square root of what? 4 times 5. We know that this 4 is what? This 4 is square root of 4 will give us 2. So which is what? Which is a rational number. So if you break square root of 4 will give us 2. But square root of 5. So if you write it as well, square root of 4 times what? Square root of 5. Then this one is will be 2 times what? Square root of 5. So this is an irrational number, while this one is what? It's a rational number, which is an integer. So we are saying that square root of irrational numbers, we are saying that sets are what? Irrational numbers, which usually involve what? Square root of prime numbers, or numbers that have prime numbers as their factors. Numbers that have what? Prime numbers as their factors. In other words, square root of numbers that are what? Divisible by what? By prime numbers that are divisible by prime numbers. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to put across here. Because this square root of 20 is what? Is an irrational number. But we are saying that this 20 has what? It has a factor, which is what? 5. 5 is a factor of 20. So it has a factor of 5, which is what? Which is a prime number. So we are saying that sets, which are irrational numbers, they usually involve a square root of prime numbers, and apart from that, they also involve square root of numbers that have what? Prime numbers as their factors. Okay, or square root of numbers that are divisible by what? By prime numbers. So let us look at square root of 27 in addition. If you look at square root of 27, you see that square root of 27 is the same as what? 27 is the same as 9 times what? 9 times 3. Have you seen? Of these numbers, this is a prime number. This is a prime number. And this is not a prime number. So we are saying that this set, square root of 27 is a set. And we are saying that this set is what? This is a set, and this set is involving a number which is 27. This number 27, which has what? Has a prime number 3 as what? As its factor, or has this prime number 3, which is what? Which you can divide 27. Or in other words, this 27 is divisible by this 3, which is what? Which is a prime number. So we are saying that in short, irrational numbers or sets usually what involve square root of what? Prime numbers, or numbers that have what? That have prime numbers as what? Are their factors, or numbers that are divisible by what? By prime numbers. Okay, thank you. Watch. So let us look at the properties of sets, and then the rules of sets, and or the laws of what? Of sets, having really understood what a set or what sets are. So the first property is what? Square root of AB. Square root of AB. You know that AB means what? AB means what? A and B. Have you seen? Square root of AB. AB means A and B. So A and B are both what? Rational numbers. So if you this property or this law or this rule is saying that if you have square root of AB, that was two rational numbers that are multiplying. If you have square root of that, we can separate them and put each one of them under what? Its own square root sign. Its own square root sign. So we separate Because this one AB, as I said, is the same as what A times what B. So it means that square root of AB is the same as square root of what A times B. So we separate them to write it as what square root of A times square root of what B. Example. So if you have square root of 3 times, so we can say that this is square root of what 6. So if you have square root of 6, which is the same as 3 times 2, if you have square root of 3 times 2, then we can separate them and say square root of 3 times square root of what 2. That's what we are saying. It's a property. So when we start solving questions on sets, we'll be using these properties a lot to solve set of questions. And the second property or law or rule is what? Is that if you have what? Square root of a fraction, square root of, or if you have a fraction under the square root sign, then we are saying that we can also separate what? We separate the numerator, we put it under its own square root sign, and then you bring the division sign, and then what? You put the denominator also what? Under its own square root sign. So if you have square root of A or B, then we can write it as a square root of A divided by square root of B. An example is what if you have square root of 5 over 3, then we can write it as a square root of 5 divided by square root of 3. So this is the second property or rule or law. Let's look at the third property or the third law or the third rule. We are saying that if you are having a square root of A times what? Square root of what? A. If you are having square root of A times square root of A, then what we are saying is that it's the same as what? Square root of what? A or square. And then this square will cancel. Oh, this one, but if you really, if you have done indices, then this one will be very easy for you, or easier for you to understand. Because if I come back here, this square root of AB, it means that according to indices, square root is the same as what? Half. So square root, this square root sign is the same as what? Half. Raise the power half. So if you have square root of what? X, it means that this is index is the same as x raised the power half. So if you are having square root of AB, this AB, AB square root, the same as what? A times B and the what? All raised the power half. Now according to indices, if you have what? AB, then you can separate them. So this A, which is this can be written as what? A raised the power half times what? B raised the power half. So this becomes what? Square root of A times what? Square root of what? B. That's what we are saying here. So in the same way, if you have indices, this can be written in the same way. You can write it as square root of, this is A over B. Square root, the square root can be written as what? Raise the power half. So it means that square root of A will be the same as A over B, all raise the power half. And if you have, you can separate it as what? A raise the power half, and then divided by what? A, B raise the power half. So you separate them like this. Have you seen? And then A raise the power half. Raise the power half means square root. So they come back to square root of A, and then square root of what? B. So that is it. So in fact, this one is related to what? Indices. So if you have not done indices, you do indices. Later on, we do indices. You see that this is very powerful and very understandable and enjoyable. So fine. So that's why we are saying that if you have square root of A times square root of what? A again, then we have what? Square root of A or what? Or square, and then this one will cancel. Yes, indices. If you have what? A times what? If you have A times what? A is what? A squared. You know that. Yes. So if you are having square root of A times square root of A, it is the same as what? Square root of A or what? Or squared. So square root of A means A raised the power half. So if you have this, it means that square root of A, this one is what? A raised the power half. Then raise the power. This is 2. That is squared. Obviously, but indices, according to indices, if you have what? If you have let's say A raised the power, let's say 2, and then all raised the power 3, then these two will go and multiply the 3, and then you get A raised the power 6. Then at the end of the day, that's what you get. So this 1 over 2 half will multiply the 2, so we get A raised the power 2 over 2. 2 divided by 2 is what? 1. Get A raised the power 1, which is what? A. Obviously, so we are saying that if you have square root of A times, sorry, square root of 2 times square root of what? 2, then you will get what? Square root of 2 all squared, which is equal to what? Equal to square root, equal to what? 2. Yes, so that is why square root of 4, square root of this kind of number, square root of 4, they are called perfect square. Perfect square, you look at them very soon. Square root of 4, square root of 9, square root of let's say 16. All of them will give you what? This one will give you 2, this one will give you 3, this one will give you 4, because this is 2, square root of 2, 4 is 2 squared, and this is 3 squared, and this is 4 squared. So the square at the end of the day, if you have 2 raised to the power 2 or under the square root sign, which is the same as 1 over 2. Then this half will cancel this, you get what 2. That's why if you find the square root of these special numbers, which are called perfect squares, you always get a rational number or a whole number. Everything. I hope you are following. Okay, there's another property. Yes, this is rule or property or law 4. You are saying that this one I think I've already exposed. You have a raised to the power 2, a raised to the power 2, or under the square root sign. So the square root sign means raise the power of half. So which means that this a raised to the power 2 or raise the power of half, which is the square root sign. Okay. So this one will multiply this. We get a raised to the power 2 over 2, which is 2 over 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So we get what a. So it means that if you have a raised to the power, we have 3 raised to the power 2. Square root of 3 raised to the power 2, we get 3. Don't forget that this 3 is equal to the same as 9. That's 9. As I was explaining, or I just explained. So square root of 9 is the same as square root of 3 squared, which is equal to 3. Okay, let's look at the fit property or the fit rule or law. So we are saying that if you have a number, a rational number multiplying a set, which is an irrational number, like this, then you write it as what? A, put it in front. So it means that A with what? B. It is read as A would be. It means that A is what? Multiplying square root of B. This is how it is written. If you have it, you can go here. And then this is the example. So if you have what? 3 times square root of 2, then you can write it as what this. You can put the whole thing under one square root sign. So, well, yes, we will consider that later. I don't want to confuse you here. So we just relax. When you get to that, get to that point, you understand it. So if you have a number multiplying a set, then you just what? Put the number in front of square root sign. Yes, this. So let's look at rule or property or law of law 6. You are saying that yes, if you have this is a number multiplying this set, so this means that this is the same as what A times square root of B times square root of C. If you have these numbers, then you can what? This means that this is multiplication. It means that A times what square root of B. This is what we have written here, and this is times what square root of C. This is what we have brought. So if you have this, then you can multiply the sets together, and yes, the sets together. Don't forget, if you go back here, go to the top. So if you have here, you say when we had what square root of AB, we broke it down to square root of A times square root of B. So this is what we are getting here. So it means that if you have square root of what? Square root of C, B, sorry, square root of B times square root of C, then we can put them, we can write it as B times C, which is BC, and put it under what? One square root sign. So we have this A, which is the rational number. A is coming, then this is the terms. And then this one, we put them under one square root sign. So we have B times C, then under this one square root sign, which is the same as what? B times C is BC. So we get what? A square root of what? BC. Yes. So this is an example. So if we have this as example, 2 root what? 2 root 3. This is how it is read. This is square root of 3. It is read as what? 2 root 3 times root what? 5. Yes. So square root of 5. You just read it for short as what? Root 5. Square root instead of square root of 5. Yeah. So we have what? 2 times what? This is the same as 2 times square root what? This is the same as what? 2. For this one, 2 times square root of what? 3. Or yes. And then times what? We have square root of what? Square root of 5. Everything. So you can put this together. So this is equal to, you have the 2, then times what? Then put the 3 times what? 5. And that one square root sign. Then this is equal to what? 2 times what? What is 2? 3 times 5 is 15. And this is 2 times they are multiplying. You can write it out 2 root what? 15. Yes, that is it. I hope you are enjoying, you are following. Keep watching. Thank you for watching. In fact, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't remember that to get understanding. Yes, you have to get understanding. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Hello guys, welcome back. This is the continuation of what? Properties of what? Sets or what? Rules of what? Rules or what? Laws of what? Laws of sets. This is a continuation. So let's look at the property number 7 or rule number 7 or what? Law number 7. So we are saying that if you have square root of A, square root of A times square root of what? B, then we have what? This one, this is yes, similar to what we considered. So we are going back. Then we have A times B, put A times B, then you put them under what? One square root sign, then we have, which is the same as square root of what? B. So this is is just the vice versa of what the property one that we considered. So if you have a square root of 2 times square root of 3, then this is the same as what? 2 times 3, then put them under one square root sign. 2 times 3 is what? 6. You get square root of what? 6. And then the next property or law or rule is what? If you have this a rational number multiplying this set, which is what root of what or square root of b. So if you have a root b times what d root c, then this one is the same as what? This is the same. You know that this one is the same a. This is the same as a times square root of what b. Then this is the terms you bring it. Then this one is the same as what d times what square root of what c. So these are the a and what a and d are rational numbers, while square root of b and square root of c are irrational numbers. So if you have anything of this sort, then you multiply the rational number together and then multiply the irrational numbers or sets together. So in this case, we multiply what this is the so a times b, this a and b, which are rational number, multiply them together. Because after all, we have the whole of this all these four terms are multiplied, so we can write them as what multiplication is what is commutative, yes, or this and distributive as well. So we want a times d, and then we group the rational numbers, multiply the rational numbers together, and then we multiply the irrational numbers together. Then we have what b times c, and then we put them what under one square root sign. For example, if you have what 2 root 3 times what 4 root 5, so this one is what 2 times what square root of 3, and then this is times what 4 times square root of what 5. So we multiply the 2 and 4 together, which are what rational numbers. So 2 times 4 we get this, and then we have multiply the square root of 3, and then what square root of 3, and then square root of what 5 together. We know that this will be written as 3 times 5. Sorry, 3 times 5 to put them under one square root sign. So this is how we write it. So this, and then the rational numbers are here, irrational numbers under their square root sign. So 2 times 4 is what 8, and then 3 times 5 was what 15, which is what 8 root what 15, which is the same as 8 times what square root of what 15. Yes, that is what it means. So rule or property or law number what? Number 9. Properties of sets, laws of sets, rules of sets number 9. So we are saying that rule number 9 or property of 9, property number 9 or law number 9. So if you have square root of a all over square root of what b. So this is similar to the second one, second property. We are going back the vice versa. So we say that we can put them under what? One square root sign. That is. So if you have square root of 6 divided by square root of 2, this is the same as square root of what? 6 over 2 square root. Then 2 goes into 6. How many times? 3. So it becomes what? Square root of what? 3. Yes. Another example, if you have square root of what? 8 divided by square root of 2, then we can write it as what? 8 over 2 or under what? This square root sign. Yes. Then what is 8 over 2? 8 over 2 is what? 4. And then 4 square root of 4 is what? 4 is 2 raised to the power 2 square root. Like this. And the square root, that's our 2. You come to indices half, raise the power half. So if you raise the power half, this one will cancel. And we get 2 raised to the power 1, which is what? 2. So we get this. The last property is what? Property number 10. So if you have a times what? A times b you c. Then you have what? These are a and b are rational numbers. So we can write this as what? A times what? This is b will c the same as b times what? B times square root of what? C. That's what it means. So this one is going to multiply these two together. A times b is what? AB. So times what? Square root of what? C. And this multiplication means that you get AB root of what? Square root of what? C. And this simple as that. So this is an example. If you have 2 times 3 root 5, then we have 2 times 3, which is what? 6. Then we bring in the square root, which is 6 root what? 5. Now, mind you, this is the same as what? 6 times square root of what? 5. Yes. So if you have this, you can come here. If you have here, you can come here. See, it's very interesting. Guys, I hope you are enjoying. You are following. The name of the channel is Get Understanding. Don't memorize. So as the name implies, everything topic we treat here, make sure that you really understand and enjoy. As usual, we have the topic videos on the topic itself, and after that we have a playlist also on solve final past final exam questions. Past final exam questions. Okay, yes, have that, and we have examples on the different playlists. So whatever topic we consider, we will look at the topic as a whole, and then we solve exam questions or examples. That will also be on its own playlist. So thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, and share. But in fact, see you in the next video. Hope you enjoy. Let's keep your comment coming. Thank you for watching. So we have finished looking at the properties of sets or rules of sets or laws of sets. So we continue in the next video. So see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.